Hi, this is Chungus from Bingus Orbital Fungus. I'm alone today and will not have my co-host Brennan. But that is for a good reason. That reason being he's not here right now. And since he's not here, I wanted to talk about something that I think is interesting and that I think about sometimes. But I want to start out first with saying that this video is going to be more of a question rather than a video that will give any answers. This is more about what's interesting to me rather than what it means, if that makes any sense. So, my question is, what was important to you? What I mean is, throughout your life, what has been important to you, and why isn't it anymore? Like, when I think back to when I was younger, let's say like 10 years old, Legos were the most important thing in my life. I loved everything Lego. Every Christmas and birthday, all I wanted to get were Legos. When I grew up, I wanted to be a Lego master builder or someone that designs Lego sets. I had this huge bucket of Legos I would build with every day, but now I barely think about Legos. And that's very interesting to me. Like, why do we stop loving what we loved? Well, the answer for me is pretty simple. When I was 13, the appeal of Lego started to fade, and I gradually stopped playing with them, and I switched to Mega Constructs, which they're like Legos, but the minifigures are a little more posable. They're like little action figures. And when I think back to when I was even younger, I loved Scooby Doo. That was the big thing. I had this little DVD player and screen combo. It was like one thing. And I would take it on car trips to my stepdad's house. And I would watch Scooby Doo the whole time. My mom would even like measure time in Scooby Doo episodes. Like, hey, it's gonna be one Scooby Doo episode until we get there. Which was like, I don't know, 20 minutes or whatever. But now, I've not watched Scooby Doo in a long time. Which, of course, that's probably because Scooby Doo is made for kids. And I'm no longer a child. But there is some Scooby Doo media that's been made for older audiences, like a Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated. But I've tried watching it, and I can't seem to sit through a whole episode, even though I have watched episodes of it before. It's kind of like how I've tried rewatching the animated Star Wars: The Clone Wars show, but I just can't get myself to sit through it. Now, of course, this is probably because I've gotten older, but I do still like Star Wars, and I definitely like mysteries, so it kind of makes sense if I wanted to watch those. Another thing is, I feel a lot of nostalgia when I think about things that I used to like, that used to be really important to me. That's probably why I like thinking about them. But there are some things that I kind of feel ashamed of. You know, things that used to be important to me, but definitely aren't anymore. See, few years ago, something that was very important to me, something that consumed my life, were right wing politics. When I was in high school, before the election of Donald Trump, I would say I was probably apolitical. And what I mean is I like didn't even think about politics. They never entered my mind. All I remember knowing is that people didn't like Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, and that's that. And it stayed like that for a while, even after the election of Donald Trump, until I discovered the anti SJW cringe compilation. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. I started watching people like Armored Skeptic, Bearing, Steven Crowder, Hunter Avalone, all the classic right wing commentary channels. Every day, I'd spend hours on YouTube watching these videos about how, trans people aren't human, white privilege is fake, and how feminism is cancer. It was very important to me, just like how Legos were important to me and Scooby Doo was important to me. It was a new media I loved consuming. And now I look back at that part of my life, and I do know why I stopped loving these hateful politics. And I think it was actually my faith. See, when I started to reconcile what I believed about Christianity and what I believed about my politics, they kind of were at odds to each other. Okay? And so, when my faith started to become more important to me, like so many things throughout my life have been, my politics started to change. And it wasn't just my faith, of course. I got de radicalized, or rather, re radicalized, but as a Christian anarchist rather than a fascist, through mainstream breadtube YouTubers. And so I guess I just hope that what matters to me now keeps mattering.